Hey, welcome into this case study looking at what is a PR agency focusing on in finances and kind of what does it look like within CEO Finance Academy if you are an agency, maybe specifically a PR agency. So I've brought on an amazing human, but also can I just say like really top-notch business owner. And I don't say that to like butter up this conversation. If you were to look inside her business and see how she operates it, Simona does an incredible job of running her business and has done for many years. But especially the last year, Simona, you have crushed it in your business. I hope you feel like that too as we've talked through things. Thank you so much for coming and giving us insight into what it's like within CEO Finance Academy for someone in your shoes. I would love for you to give like a 1 minute version of what is your business, who do you serve, and kind of the story of how you got to where you're at right now. And, this short version.
Sure. Hello. I'm Simona Rozkho. I'm the founder and CEO of Evna Media PR, and we are a PR agency that specializes in beauty, fashion, and the home decor and interior design space. And we really specialize and focus on traditional press, um, partnerships and collaborations, and events. I'm super excited to chat today and share a little bit more about my experience with CEO Finance Academy and all the ways in which the company and Alex have helped me in my business directly, and give others an opportunity to help in other financial situations as well.
Cool. Thank you so much too for the time. Super nice of you. Simona has a million things that she could be doing other than this. So many thanks to you. So for those who are listening, give me a sense of like what was it that made you want to reach out for financial coaching in the first place? And it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people because like it's not something we have a conversation about every day in our business, right? But like give us a little bit of the backdrop for why were finances a focus for you before we started working together.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's like part of my personal nature and personality is like I love to be as transparent as possible. And I think some of the tools and resources when I look out, look at listen to podcasts or read books or whatever it is, I sometimes feel like they're not getting down to like the root problem or the root cause of what it is that's going on. And to be fully transparent, running a PR agency, everything about this industry ebbs and flows from like market trends to how clients come on and leave because we're in such a client facing business to employee turnover and retainer rates and things like that. And so about a year and a half ago I just went through a little bit of like a lull, and there's ups and downs, and I had a little bit of a down where I had a situation where I had to let an employee go. And this employee was a incredible senior level, position. She was performing really well, but I had to make a decision for the business based on some of our clients abruptly leaving due to inflation and some of the residual effects of COVID. And this is something I wasn't prepared for from a perspective of knowing my business inside out financially. I kind of just went with the flow and, did numbers in my head, looked at my bank account, definitely daily and weekly, but I wasn't really, I don't think I could say I really knew the health of my business from the inside out at that time. And so I was making decisions based on just being careful, and making sure we had enough cushion and things like that. But it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make because I adored this person. She was an incredible team member, and also just not being prepared for four clients leaving at one time was an experience that taught me a lot. And I'm such a solution oriented person. In my mind and in my life, I was like, this can never happen again. What do I do? And so I started to research business coaches, mentors, even fractional CFOs online. And of course, nowadays with like social media and the phone, iPhones, like hearing everything you say and do in research, CEO Finance Academy popped up on my Instagram. And what prompted me to even like click in was I think just the communication and delivery of how Alex and his company were articulating what they did for companies. And at this point I had no idea if they worked with PR companies, if they hadn't, but what their message was, sharing with me was exactly what I was looking for, which was, being, finding more confidence in your financial decisions as a business owner. And, it was really the perfect timing, and also what their specific focus on that really led me to take a call. And truly, from the start of that touch point to like the end of, or up until today, every call and every meeting has been beneficial through and through. So I ended up working with Alex and the team, and it's been over or close to a year now.
Yeah.
And it's been one of the best investments I've made for my business, hands down. And I can't wait to share a little bit more of why that is. So,
Thank you for the super kind words. We appreciate that. And I think one of the things that we hear a lot is, because a lot of people see us from our ads and they're like, okay, can something from Instagram or Facebook or YouTube ads like actually be decent? And a lot of people get really surprised when they get into our world. It's like, oh, this is actually like, I can't believe I found this on an ad. It's like, thank you, ads, for targeting me for the good things in life. But I'm curious for you, if a friend were to come to you, maybe they own a PR agency or a marketing firm of some sort, and they're like, okay, I heard that you worked with him. Like, what's it actually like? How would you describe the experience to someone who wants to know what it's actually like on the inside? What did you accomplish? What do we do? What's it like working with a financial coach?
yeah. I think like when it comes to like the business that I'm in, it's very client facing. And again, like there's ups and downs, things ebb and flow. When I started my business 7 years ago, I didn't know the first thing about financial organization for a business, how to do my taxes properly. I just went into, oh, I want to own a business and this is what I want to do. And all the back end stuff really took a back seat. When I started working with Alex and CEO Finance Academy, the experience was nothing but incredible. Honestly, I think a big part of it was finding someone whose like personality and communication type really matched my own. And so the way that I worked with Alex directly, everything that I was sort of taught and mentored and coached on, it was so clearly laid out. And I think that was the best thing for me in terms of setting up what our meetings looked like and what we talked about and the dashboards that we worked with and the tools and resources. But the way that the communication was really shared was the easiest thing for me to digest and apply to my own business. Also, everyone at the company is so kind and understands really truly the struggles of what you're going through and wants to make it make sense and find a solution. And I think a lot of times when you do work with other partners or agencies or whatever it is, everyone else has so much going on in their own personal life and their businesses and things like that. But CEO Finance Academy and Alex really make your problem their own problem. And it's like you don't get that type of attention to detail and almost empathy also. I think in other types of settings. And so that was really huge for me. And then also, in terms of our calls, weekly and biweekly and monthly, they were just really organized, like from start to finish. The team always came prepared with what the next steps were going to be and not having to like re-review things every call and lose time and then get to something. They came prepared like with already next steps in place for us to start fresh on every call and get things done really, really efficiently. And so that was a huge plus for me because I felt like every call we were getting something done and checking things off the list and not like going back and re-reviewing things or, just kind of going in circles.
Yeah.
It was very, very proactive.
For someone who's like, all right, well, what does the dedication look like from your end in terms of time? Because this is one concern that people come into like, this sounds like it's cool, but it also sounds like a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm curious, and I haven't asked you this, so I'm actually really curious on my end. If you were to say, like, how many hours per week did you need to spend on the stuff that we worked on together as an average? And I know some weeks were more, some weeks were less. We try to fit into the lives of the business owners that we work with because every week isn't, always the same. But for
Yeah.
you, if you were to give an average of like, I probably spent this many hours per week on this stuff as we worked through it, how much time do you think that would be?
Yeah, I think like in the beginning, it's definitely more time. Not only because you're kind of working on your own finances and really pulling out numbers and understanding your business, but we're also watching videos and kind of have like homework in school. So I would say in the beginning it was more time, maybe like 2 hours a week. But as the course sort of went on, like truly by the like even in the last couple months, it was like maybe an hour a week.
Yeah.
And I had a few little like personal documents I had set up that were kind of like helpful for me to use to apply to what we were doing at CEO Finance Academy. But really, the investment of time was not something that deterred me at any point in the timeline. And in fact, I nerd out on like numbers and understanding my business so much that I wouldn't even mind if there was more time, because I found myself doing things even after hours or on weekends because I genuinely wanted to understand my business better. And the platform that CEO Finance Academy provides really makes it so that you're not needing to put in 4 hours a week or bending over backwards. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm curious what financial wins or like business growth wins you feel like we've had as a result of the work that we did together. And maybe this is, hey, I feel like I understand this better, or this is going smoother, or, these numbers are trending this way. What are the wins that you feel like as you reflect on this? And if someone were to ask you like, hey, what was it worth it? What did you actually get out of it? What would your answer be to that?
Yeah, I think I mentioned this earlier, but really understanding the health of my business, whether that's good, so, or bad, having this bird's eye view of the health of your business at any given hour of any given day of any given week. And that to me brings me so much peace, like sleeping at night and waking up in the morning and knowing how I'm operating. And that as like an overarching kind of theme is what I really took away. But then, kind of getting into the more details, I came to this program to prevent the situation that I was in a year ago, which was knowing, I think, when to scale, when to pull back, and knowing how to kind of build a prediction pipeline of what clients we have that are coming in maybe in the next quarter or the next couple months, while also understanding taxes better. So, to be completely honest, I was not making like estimated quarterly taxes every year, and I've had my business for 7 years now almost. It was always like I'd wait until the end of the year, I get smacked with a big bill, and then I'd like freak out and be like, how is this normal? Like, how do businesses function and operate this way without drowning? And I was like, there has to be a different solution to this. But also knowing how to read like my profit and loss statements and balance sheets and how those are such crucial pieces to your business, and reading that type of material every month to understand taxes better, and where you can allocate funds, or what your cash flow should look like, what is a healthy profit margin for my type of business or PR. So that was really, really, really helpful for me, as well as just making better decisions for the business. So whether it was, allocating, funds for additional employees, or, was I paying myself enough, or too much or too little. And then how I also view, my employees and what it looks like from a standpoint of, their day-to-day roles, and how much I'm putting in that's either duplicating the work that they're already doing, or am I giving myself enough time by hiring the right people to run the business as smoothly as possible, so then I can grow it and become more profitable and all that kind of stuff. So those are some of the key things. And then of course, reducing debt. I think when you're a business owner and you have your business credit cards and you bring on more team members, and you have tax bills from previous years and things like that, debt can stack up. And that was something that we worked on really aggressively in 2023. And I feel so good at the end of this year, just knowing how we, kind of brought those numbers down almost to zero, at this point, and what that looks like from a profit standpoint for myself as a business owner and the health of my company. Really can't say enough good things.
Well, and thank you so much. I appreciate that. And on the other side, on the flip side of things, you've been so coachable. And I mentioned this as we talked individually. You've been so coachable and such a quick action taker on things. It's really cool to see now. We've been, I guess we fast forward 12 months ish from when we started. And now you look at the state of the business now, both from a profit margin standpoint, you mentioned debt, and also like your intentionality with what you spend on now is objectively, from my point of view, so much better than it had been before. And it's really cool to see what just like shining a light on the places that need to have light shine on them in the business does to improve them. And you've done such a good job with that. I want to ask you a question that I feel like I can't ask everyone, but I think that you're one of the best to ask this to. What do you feel like has made you a successful client of ours? Like, what are the traits, what are the things that you've done that have made you have success in working with us? Because someone might be thinking, well, this is great, it worked for her, but what about for me? Like, what is it that makes someone successful in being a client? So why do you think you've been successful in going through what we've done? What is it that you've done or your traits that make for success in how we work?
Yeah, I think there's two things that come to mind, or kind of opposites, I should say, and that's like being proactive versus reactive. And I think even in the business that I'm in, and maybe because I'm a Capricorn and I'm a little bit more type A, I've always been a more proactive person where, like, especially when it comes to finances, I never want to be in a situation where again, where I'm reactive to something bad happening rather than being proactive and having financial freedom, or feeling like at ease with finances. Or, and this can be like really in any part of life, relationships, family, like work, business, different decisions. But I think that's for me what's helped me really, like, prolong this relationship with CEO Finance Academy, but also the more I know, the more I want to actually learn, because I'm understanding my business better and better, and things I never knew. And I think what's hard about doing this by yourself, and like me trying to figure it out, reading a book or watching a, documentary, whatever it is I don't know what the right approach can be. And so when there is a mentorship or someone that has experienced similar things and has made the right decisions and has built this type of program and intricacy to what you can do to make your business more profitable and healthier, is so helpful. And I think everyone should take a crash course in something like this, if that's the bare minimum, because it's so helpful. But I think, yeah, from a trait, like characteristic or trait perspective, I would say like proactiveness. It's like, okay, I went out and I looked out and I sought this out. And then, when it did come time to teaming up, it was staying proactive and like, okay, I just learned this, but now I want to know this. And really putting in effort and hours versus just waiting for something to come to me
Yeah.
or something to fix my solution. That's never going to happen, especially with finances, unless you win the lottery, which is such such an impossible, right, slim chance. So, and even then, but yeah, I think that would be like the number one, is being proactive versus reactive.
Cool. And you have taken such ownership over things, and I really respect that as a fellow business owner. Um, I've seen you take such ownership of the numbers. Like, oh, okay, now that I understand it, now I'm in the driver's seat fully, and now I can go make the changes that I need, from hiring to bringing on clients to adjusting pricing to figuring out who I'm going to take on and not, and balancing load in my business. Like, you've just taken such ownership over that, which has been so cool to watch. Two last questions. One, you already came into the program having a bookkeeper and an accountant, which many of our clients do. But a lot of people question, well, why would I need something like this? What role does CEO Finance Academy fill that my bookkeeper or accountant isn't? So for you, what did you find was the role that we were filling that you weren't already having filled by a bookkeeper or accountant?
Yeah, I kind of laugh at this because CEO Finance Academy is everything I thought a CPA and bookkeeper did or talked about or checked in on, that they do not. So my bookkeeper and CPA, who I adore, they're great. They are responsive when I ask a question. But CPAs and bookkeepers are not there to be your consultant. They just aren't. They're not there to be your coach. They're not there to be your mentor. They're not there to even teach you much. They're there to basically just fill a role, do their to-do list, and that's it. And that obviously includes like taxes and, managing your books and all of that. So I have gone through actually 3 different bookkeepers before finding CEO Finance Academy, because I was like, why aren't they consulting me? Why aren't we having monthly calls? Why aren't they explaining what this sheet means to me? And then I learned like, okay, third time's the charm. This is not what they do. And so I think, the difference with, that and CEO Finance Academy is CEO Finance Academy really kind of humanizes everything that CPAs and bookkeepers do. And they do all of the, you guys really, I think take on the role to dissect and explain and help us understand what it is that they do and so much more. And also it's kind of like, the like worksheets and results and all these things that CPAs and bookkeepers provide CEO Finance Academy or to me as a business owner, we use that as material to expand upon for the rest of the business with your team. So it's just like a helpful additional resource to have if
Love it.
so.
Thank you for that. And I always smile too when people are asking like, well, how's this any different? Like, oh, if you only knew. So it's great to hear from your side of the table that you feel the same. My last question for you is, how do you feel like your business and maybe even life is going to look different in the future because of what we've done together? Maybe even like, cool, over the next year, how do you feel like business is going to be different versus the prior year because of what we've done together in CEO Finance Academy?
Yeah, I 110% already know that in the next year will be so much more profitable. I will be seeing numbers that I think I've always been kind of dreaming of seeing, even in the last 6 years, based on how I'm running my business and also making much more educated decisions financially in every facet of the business, not just what we're making, but what we're charging clients. When do we need to, increase retainer prices? How do I know our hourly rate? What goes into hiring a team member and, delegating their role and responsibility when I'm trying to take more of a backseat and run the business better. So there's just so much, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I've been part of this program and will continue to be. So yeah.
Good stuff. Thank you for the super kind words. Last, if someone wants to find out about you guys as a company, maybe they even want to work with you. If they're like, oh my gosh, I am in this world, I need PR. How can someone go find out about you and your company?
Yeah, they can find us online at our website, which is www.evnamedia.com, or our social media, which is Evna Media at Evna Media. And then we are actually launching a TikTok channel in 2024, as well as a podcast. So that will be coming out later in the spring. But those are some of the channels right now that you can find us on.
Awesome. Simona, thank you so much. Appreciate giving the insight, the behind the scenes of what does it actually look like. And you've just accomplished so much because of, one, the level of like curiosity you have around your business is so fun. Like it makes it, and when people are like, well, what makes a good client? Like Simona makes a good client. And here's why. Mm-hmm. One is like just that curiosity around the business. Like I really want to understand more. Two is the hunger that is not driven from a place of desperation, which this is really interesting. Like, you weren't in a spot necessarily, and you talked about it in your business. You weren't necessarily at a spot where your back was totally against the wall, but it was like, oh, I've had a wake up call moment and I'm going to take this seriously. And just that determination of like, I'm going to take ownership now over the business and go like, do is such an important part as we're looking at clients. And three, like you're just so grateful and humble and teachable. Maybe coachable is the right word. Like willing to learn and then implement immediately. And because of that, I just know that you're going to have so much success in your business. We're already seeing it. Like I'm so excited for what the next month is going to look like for you based off your client growth and all the numbers we're seeing. It's so exciting, and the debt you've paid off and just the progress you're making. So super proud of you. Thank you for giving everyone an insight into your business and life. And y'all go check out Simona if you need PR help. Thanks, Simona. Appreciate you.
Wonderful.